Hello everyone, Darren Cross here, MBA 652, and this is the assignment video for Module 3. So up till now let's go back a little bit. Up till now what we've done is we've actually identified the company that we're going to study this session. We have identified the problem statement, and we have set up the Mars analysis. So remember again that the Mars analysis is the analysis of the causes of that specific behavior that is causing that specific quantifiable symptomatic problem that's actually that the leaders of your organization are thinking about. And so now we're actually going into the Mars analysis. Now remember, the Mars analysis is saying that we're going to look at whether or not, or the extent to which, motivation, ability, role perceptions, or the things that are outside of the employee, like organizational culture or organizational design or things like that, actually influence this behavior that we're talking about. So right now we're only going to do this section, right? So we're doing the motivation section, and we want to be super tight on what we're writing about here, okay? So remember, we're trying to determine, we're looking back at this organizational behavior, one of the 5 behaviors that we identified as the cause of the particular quantifiable problem. So if you don't have that, it might be causing you a problem here, right? So at first you have to say, this company is feeling that we missed our metric in this way. It's something like loss of sales, loss of market share, declining profitability. We missed our safety targets, or whatever it is. But there's a target that we had that we missed, okay? And then you say, and then part of that intro was also, I think that this is because of this behavior. And the behavior is one of the 5 OB behaviors that we talked about in Module 1. Then we said, now we're going to look at it from the perspective of the Mars analysis. And so now we're trying to determine, is that behavior, or we're trying to say, is motivation a factor when it comes to that behavior? And if so, to what extent? And when we're talking about that in this section, what we're going to say is, you start off directly and just speak plainly, okay? Don't get off focus. You have a focused response here. You say something like, the problem at ABC Corporation is not due to motivation, or motivation does influence the problem that's happening at ABC Corporation. And then the next couple of sentences are going to be the reasons why you say that. So what observations do you have that convince you of the statement that you just said? You can say something like, the employees don't seem to be giving their full effort, even though they seem to understand what's going on, or something like that. So, what are the reasons why you say that motivation is or is not a problem? Now you want to think just a little bit, and we're not going to get crazy. This section should be 5 sentences max. Then you want to say something like, or as part of your support for why you say that it's a problem, you might want to bring in some of these theories that you learned about in this chapter. So is this an equity theory situation? Are you saying it could be, motivation could be an issue because employees are aware that they don't make the same amount of money as other employees? Or, are the rewards-based are the rewards that we use in this company not worth it? So, you'll say something like, motivation is an issue. It appears that employees are not motivated because the employee system or the employee reward system could be flawed. What we use is this kind of a system, and employees probably want something different. It could be that simple, right? If, however, you feel like you really want to talk about another theory or bring a couple more theories into it, you can do that. So this can be a 2-section or a 2-paragraph section, but I really encourage you to try to keep it to 1 if you can. But the idea here is, what I'm looking for is, did they identify whether or not motivation is an issue? I don't want you to go into this theoretical basis for what motivation is. I don't want you to say motivation was first discovered by so-and-so and these theorists said this about it. No, we're trying to assess actually what's going on with your organization. So start with a sentence like, motivation is an issue for ABC Corp, or motivation doesn't appear to be an issue for ABC Corp. And then the next couple of sentences should be some kind of evidence in your mind as to why you say that. And it's going to be more thoughtful if you bring some theories in, but in real life, I think that you should be able to take care of this in 1 to 2 paragraphs, but be thoughtful about that. Don't start a new paragraph unless you really think you need to do that. Okay? So I think that gets you guys started off on the right foot. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Good luck, everyone.